Okay, hey guys, it's Paul from Babel Tech again. I'm just in the process of completing this blog post about typography for ESL websites. So typography is a kind of confusing topic, but it's an important one. So the typography that you choose for your site can affect the kind of mood or the tone of your content. So anyways, this blog post goes on into a bit of a deep dive about some aspects of typography that I think are worth being aware of. I talk here about the some vocabulary related to typography terms, and I've covered like different types of like general categories of fonts, like serif fonts, sans serif, etc. So you can take a look at all that, and also there are some tips in here for using typography, and a couple of important tips in here which I've added are these two, which is when we're picking fonts, it's kind of important to make sure that the fonts do contrast with each other. So in other words, they're not too similar, but on the other hand, that they don't clash, so they're not too dissimilar. So it's a bit of an art form, really. So people who are a lot smarter about typography than me, know what to look for and that sort of thing. It's a bit of an art to like comparing a fine meal with the right wine, or matching the right meal with the right dessert, that sort of thing. So what we can do though is leverage some recommendations. So if we scroll down the bottom here, so we're talking about Google fonts, by the way. So of course there are commercial fonts which you can go out and buy. So there are font makers who sell their fonts online. You can buy a license and potentially use those fonts on your site. But I think for 99% of people, the Google fonts, the free font choices, which are hosted by the Google font library, I think those are perfectly fine. They've got over 1,000 font families now, I think. So there's quite a few to choose from. And so I've included some links to some pages where typography professionals have actually recommended some font pairs. So when I say a font pair, I mean like it's pretty standard to have two fonts for your website. So one font for the headings and one font for the text body. It's just a good way of visually organizing the content. So you can take a look at these if you like. There's this one. Let me see if I can find it. I'll click on here. Yes, this is on the Kinsta site. So 15 best Google fonts. Then there's the Ultimate Collection. There's this resource as well. So she has some good recommendations. There's this one, Top 50 Google Font Pairings. There's another one here, Google Font Pairings. Right, this site actually is a good one. It's fontpair.co. As the name suggests, they have a lot of recommendations about good font pairings. So you can take those recommendations and maybe find a pair from these lists that you like. However, there's another approach we can take to this as well, and that is we can look at what fonts are already being used on websites which are probably well visited by our target audience. So let's say, like in this example, for the purposes of this demonstration, my target audience is web developers. Okay, and so I thought to myself, like, what's a site that most web developers would be familiar with? And the name Hubspot comes to mind. So Hubspot is a pretty popular company. They offer like CRM software, customer relationship management software. They have trainings and all that sort of thing. So let's take a look at the HubSpot website. So what I'd like to do is find out like what font are they using on here, font or fonts. There is a way we can do that. There's a Google Chrome extension called What Font. Okay, I've already got this installed on my browser. So What Font. If I go to this website again and I activate the What Font browser extension, there it is. Okay, and you can see as I mouse over everything on this page, it's got a little pop-up beside it saying Avenir Next. So this is the font name. This is the name of the font which HubSpot is using. And it looks like they're only using one font on their site, which is totally legitimate. So they're using like, different sizes, different emphasis of the same font maybe. But Avenir Next is the font they're using. So maybe I want to use the same font. However, if I go to, if I can find it, Google Fonts. Let me find it. Okay. No, that's not what I want. Okay, so if I go to the Google Fonts library, and if I search for that font, Avenir Next, right? So it's telling me, sorry, we can't find that font. So as I'm not surprised to discover, this is probably like a custom font which HubSpot has purchased. So it's not in the Google Font library. However, so what we can do is we can search for fonts which are similar to Avenir Next. So if we look here, you can see I've already done this search. So Google fonts similar to Avenir Next. And so some design professionals have made recommendations for us already. So this one, for example, in the codes in the search page snippet, it says Avenir free alternative is Nunito. So Nunito is a font name. It even says here Nunito is also a Google font, so that's good. So what else have we got? Someone's recommending Montserrat. So we've got another recommendation down here for Nunito. So it seems like Nunito is a good substitute. So let's take a look for. Actually, what we'll do is I want to show you a site called ArcheType. I think it's called ArcheType or ArcheType. And what it allows you to do is like test various font combinations. So you can see here we've got an option to set a heading font and an option to set the body font. So if I click on there and let's pick Nunito, and I'm going to go with Nunito regular. It's probably a good idea to always choose the regular variation when we're choosing fonts like this. All right, so Nunito. So I could have Nunito for everything, for the headings and for the body. And that looks pretty decent. Or I can choose a matching font, like a font pair for this. So I want to know what fonts go well with Nunito. And so let's see. So if I go to Google again, and actually if I search for Google fonts pairing Unito. Let's try that. Yeah. So we've got some recommendations here for fonts that'll go well with Nonito. So it looks like we've got 4 recommendations here. So there's Allegria, Laura, Open Sans, and Roboto. So let's take a look at what these look like. So I'm gonna maybe just adjust I'm gonna leave Nonito as the body copy. I'm gonna see what these look like as headings. So Allegria. Allegria regular. Okay, so that's a looks like it's a serif font. I don't really like the serif fonts so much for headings. That's just a personal preference, but you might like them. Let's try the next recommendation, which was Laura regular. Okay, so that's another serif font. And I think Open Sans was the next one. Open Sans regular. Okay, so that's a sans serif font. And Roboto, I think, was the last one, wasn't it? Roboto regular. Yeah, I kind of like the Roboto, I think, as my heading font. It has a kind of like a clean, modern feel about it. I think, you know, it works well with the other font, the Nonito. So I'm going to go with these. I think this font pairing works pretty well. So there'll be a link to this site, by the way, the ArcheType. It's called ArcheTypeApp.com. ArcheTypeApp.com, but there'll be a link to this in the blog post as well. So you can switch these around as well and see how Nonito looks as the heading and Roboto looks as the body. You can play around with that. You can play around with like different font weights, for example, like maybe a lighter or a heavier weight might work better. But I think this is a valid way of looking for fonts which might work together as a font pairing. So leverage the knowledge and expertise of others who work with typography on a regular basis. All right, so hopefully that's valuable. So that's my quick method for choosing your own font pairs. So thanks very much.